This is the eufy X10 Pro Omni Robot Vacuum and Mop combo. And looking at it for the first time, it honestly has a really sleek, modern look. It's got this compact, almost circular shape, and it fits nicely on my floor. I've used a few robot vacuums over the years, but this is the first one that really made me pause and go, okay, this could honestly change the whole way I keep my floors clean. That's what I want to share in today's video. A quick review from my actual daily use, the stuff that really matters if you're deciding whether to get one for your own home. So right out of the box, the X10 Pro Omni made a good impression. In my opinion, it just feels solid. The setup was pretty simple. I took a minute to get everything out. There's the main robot, the docking station, and the clean and dirty water tanks. I had some worries about the app because smart home apps can get buggy or confusing. But honestly, the eufy app is pretty easy to follow. Pairing with my Wi-Fi, connecting the robot to Alexa, it all happened in one go, which surprised me because I'm used to apps asking for more permissions or running into some setup loop. This is a small thing, but it honestly made me feel like I wasn't wasting time on tech support. Looking at the key features, what stood out right away was just how much it actually does for you. The X10 Pro Omni is fully all-in-one. That means it vacuums, mops, empties itself, and even washes and dries its own mop pads, so you don't need to deal with washing dirty pads in the sink. Both the clean and dirty water tanks are easy to install, and the dock isn't overly bulky, which I personally appreciate because space always feels tight in my apartment. The main dustbin empties automatically into a 2.5-liter dust bag, and that only needs changing out about every 2 months. I love not needing to think about pulling out all the pieces or cleaning some tiny filter every single day. Now, let's talk about cleaning power. Because for me, that's where most robots fall short. This one has 8,000 pH of suction. For anyone who doesn't live and breathe vacuum stats, that's strong enough to pull up dust, hair, pet fluff, and little crumbs from deep inside the carpet, not just off hard floors. Even on my rugs, which my old vac just pushed stuff around on, this X10 actually picked things up. I have an old dog, so fur is always a problem, and I noticed the brush head uses something called auto-detangling. Basically, it spins in reverse to get the hair off. No need to take scissors to the brush roller every week, which is such a relief. If you've ever pulled hair out of a robot vacuum, you know what I mean. The mopping feature is actually more advanced than I expected. It has dual spin mops, and they even lift themselves up 12 millimeters when going over carpets, so you don't end up with wet patches on your rug. Mopping pressure and water flow are both adjustable through the app. I was skeptical, but after a couple test runs, I could see it made a visible difference, even picking up some dried coffee stains by the kitchen. It doesn't quite replace a full-on hand mop for deep, stuck-on messes, but for everyday dirt, it offers what I'd call a real clean. I'd recommend this for anyone who just doesn't have time or energy to mop daily. Navigation is totally different compared to earlier robots. I used to have a model that bumped into everything and kept getting stuck under chairs. But the eufy X10 Pro Omni uses both eye-based obstacle detection and laser mapping, so it can actually see, avoid shoes on the floor, wires, pet bowls, even dark furniture. The AIC tech recognizes more than 100 types of objects, and from my experience, it pretty much never runs into my dog or shoes, which is great. The first time I let it map the apartment, it quickly built a map on the app and even labeled my living room and bedroom correctly. You can set up no-go zones for places you don't want it to clean, like around wires or a pet bed, and you can even tell it to clean specific rooms or areas using your phone. If you're concerned about noise, this robot is really quiet for a vacuum, at least compared to my old one that sounded like a miniature plane taking off. I'd say it's background noisy, which means you can easily watch TV or take a call while it's cleaning, but you'll notice it running if your home is super quiet. For me, that's not a big issue because I usually have something on anyway. For anyone new to these products, the idea behind self-emptying and mop washing is that the robot pulls into the dock and the dock takes care of the gross stuff for you, emptying dust, washing mop pads, even drying them with warm air, so you don't end up with that musty odor you get from old wet mops. The tanks hold enough clean water for a couple full cleans of a typical apartment, maybe a small house. I only have to refill every few days, and the bag for the dustbin lasts a lot longer than expected. Less touching dirt is always a good thing as far as I'm concerned. The app is a major part of the experience. It gives you a full map of your place, lets you create schedules, and even set up cleaning routines for different days or moods. The only thing I wish eufy would improve is fixing the occasional map lag. Sometimes, The app takes a few seconds to catch up to where the robot actually is, especially if you're checking from outside your home. But in daily use, this hasn't stopped it from getting the job done. For people who aren't super techy, don't worry, you don't have to use every feature. Even if you just want to tap clean and go, you're all set. Something I think is important to mention is edge cleaning. No robot really cleans right up to the wall, and this one is no different. After a big weekly clean, I still sometimes find dust bunnies along the baseboards or in tight corners, but this is nothing you can't quickly handle with a traditional broom or handheld vacuum. For most of us, I think that's an acceptable trade-off for the massive time savings these devices bring. From my experience, the eufy X10 Pro Omni is perfect for people who want as little maintenance as possible from their cleaning gear. If you travel, have pets, or just really hate vacuuming and mopping, this is the sort of helper that gives you a cleaner space with hardly any daily effort from you. I also think it's well priced for everything it does. For the features, you're not being asked to pay double like with some other big brands. I'll be honest, when I first set it up, I was worried it would be yet another gadget that sounds great, but ends up sitting in the corner gathering dust. But after a few weeks of use, what stood out was just how reliable it is. I hardly ever have to interact with it. It's rare that it gets stuck or fails to dock, and when something is wrong, like low water or a jam, it tells you exactly what needs fixing through the app or the voice assistant. In conclusion, the eufy X10 Pro Omni Robot Vacuum and Mop Combo is hands down the easiest, most convenient floor cleaner I've ever tried. It's powerful, smart, and actually cuts my weekly cleaning time in half, if not more. Would I recommend it? Absolutely, as long as you keep in mind the small edge cleaning issue and the slight lag in the app sometimes. These are easy to live with when you see your floors stay clean day after day with almost zero effort. To learn more about the eufy X10 Pro Omni Robot Vacuum and Mop Combo, please check the comments section. Thank you for watching.